My wife says I need to stop buying her presents while discreetly claiming that I'm random towns in Northern Ireland. Well, I'll tell you what, I am done giving. It's a brand new season of the Comedy Cabin. How beautiful is this? It's a Sunday night when I'm recording this, where I'm going to put this out on Monday night. It usually goes live every Monday night from 9 o'clock on the likes of SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcasts. The video version's available on my Facebook page and as well on YouTube. Uh, Before we get started, let's run the intro and we'll take it from there. This is a brand new intro as well, so brand new season, brand new intro, brand new look. It's the Comedy Cabin. Here we go.
It's the Comedy Cabin with Sean Hegarty. Stand-up comedian, come hang with me. I tell jokes, share stories with the fire lit in my pallet wood cabin. Now it's time to talk shit. It's the Comedy Cabin with Sean Hegarty. Stand-up comedian, come hang with me. I tell jokes, share stories with the fire lit. Now it's time to talk shit. At the Comedy Cabin.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I had this open and I was like, "Oh, no smoke's getting out." I have a little wood burner here for anyone who's just listening to the audio version, and I had the door open there, and I was like, "Oh, this is very nice. There's no smoke coming out of the actual wood burner. It's all going up the chimney, so I can actually leave the door open, and it creates like a lovely ambience that people can sort of see the fire in the corner of the screen." And between me pressing record and the intro ending, I fucking near died of smoke inhalation. It is, it's like really strong, but we're here. We're back. 9/11 can't stop us. It's the Comedy Cabin with a brand new season, as I said just before the intro, and I'm loving life in the Comedy Cabin like never before, because when I built this about 3 years ago, maybe, yeah, it wouldn't have been more than 3 years ago, maybe four at the most. When I built this, which I built this whole thing myself, and people call it a shed. That's offensive to me in every shape and form. It's not a shed. Do you know what it also isn't? That I'm gonna fucking stab the ball bag the next ball bag who calls it this, right? A man cave. It's not a man cave, right? Because I'm not a virgin. I'm not fucking 19 who's just moved out of his man and dad's house for the first time ever. And I have a bit more respect for myself. And there's no pool table in here or naked women pack of cards or whatever the fuck else you would find in a man cave. It's actual cabin stuff because I try to live the cabin life. I have little stag um, cups, mugs, you would say. I have like a coffee thing for a coffee sort of dispenser. What do you call the thing that you push down and stuff? Ribbit. For shits and giggles, nothing more. I've made most of the things in here myself. I've just got some of the aesthetic that I've kind of bought over the course of a few years. I've got like bushcraft books and stuff up here. I've got Into the Wild, the book, which is phenomenal, brilliant movie, one of my favorite movies. Absolutely love it, and it's something I may well do someday. I may be a millionaire, and I'm just like, do you know what? I'm just gonna piss all over this £1 million of stone cold cash, and I'm just gonna walk off into the sunset, and the rest of my life is just gonna be dictated day by day by nature and whatever else. But I'm so proud of this place. I really am, and I love it so much. It rained in here, not in here. It rained outside a couple of nights ago, and I came in here, and it was just heaven on earth. It was amazing. Check this out. Made this little thing as well. You can't see this on the audio, obviously, but I've like a little sort of thing of wood here. I cut off like a big branch of a tree, and made a big hole in the middle of it and melted a candle. Just melted some wax and dripped it into the hole and then stuck the candle in. And now I have this little sort of candle holder, and I love it so much. I love it. I love the whole cabin. I don't know if you can see this here. This is a table that I built myself. This is from like a log being cut, and it's about that length, or that, yeah, it's about that length, which is the tip of my thumb to the tip of my pinky finger, and I stained it and stuff and put legs underneath it, and I love it so much. I could probably sell it for 150, 200 quid, but it means so much to me. And since I've got my little wood burner as well, which has just been a dream the past 3 years, I've been sitting out here recording podcasts and writing stuff and using this as a little sort of office space over the years. And in the autumn and winter time, which is when I use it most, I'm sitting here just with blankets on me, shivering. Peter Schmeichel knows. I'm like Rudolph, just sitting going. And then I have all kinds of heating and blow heaters and all kinds of shit in, and it just dehydrates my entire face and my skin, and it's just not worth it. So I finally invested in. I'm going to try and knock it, but I'll probably burn the shit out of my hand. That's alright. I got this little bad boy, and I love it. I fucking love it. See, when I come out here and I have the little chimney up above, and it's just smoking away. I love it. I don't think my neighbours like it. Maybe their clothes are all stinking when they bring them in off the line. But you know what? Yo ho la ho. YOLO, you only live once, don't you? Make it count. Make it happen, Captain. So, yeah, new season, new look, new theme tune, new everything. What you might have seen in the other Comedy Cabin episodes is this backdrop that I am looking at in front of me. This is the back of the cabin, but where I'm recording this is the front. And I've done sort of little things over the past few months, little sort of DIY kind of things. Like I've always wanted one of those farmhouse kind of swing doors where it cuts in half, and you can leave the top half open and you can just have the bottom half closed, for many reasons. One of which, to stop my cats coming in here, because I don't want them anywhere near this place because they're dickheads. And one day I was just at home, and I was sitting there and my son was bored and he was like, what are we going to do? It was the summer, school hadn't started back, and I was like, you know what, let's do a couple of little projects together out in the cabin and around the cabin. I'll teach him some kind of sort of bits of drilling and screwing and all different things like that. So we came out here. I literally took the door off its hinges, lay it on the grass, sawed it in half, and then just pieced the two bits, made them more solid. And now I can literally just open the top bit and just have the rain pissing down outside, and I can just have the top half open and the bottom half closed. And it's amazing. It really is amazing. And I love it so much, and I'm just delighted to be back out here. And yeah, people could have been listening or watching this for the very first time ever. This is just a sort of raw. It's obviously episode 1, but it's almost episode 0, because it's going to take me a while to get back into this. It's going to take me a while to have a laugh with everybody again. I haven't done many stand-up gigs since the pandemic has been drawn to a close. I'm double vaxxed. I'm not going to get into all the shit about COVID and all that. If you want to get the vaccination, get the vaccination. If you don't want to get it, that's entirely up to you. It's your body, it's your life. But I don't. I'm not even going to get into it. I was just about to start a rant there. I'm not getting into it. Do what you need to do. I felt like it was the right thing to get the vaccinations. But you don't know what's inside of it. I don't know what's inside fucking anything. I don't know. I have cushions there. I don't know what's inside them. Is it feathers? Is it fluff? Is it bits of debris from fucking airplanes? I have no idea. They're comfy and I use them out here and they're nice. I don't know what's in shit, and I don't care. It's the government just keeping an eye on you. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit what the government know about me. I don't see. Some people like just take on everybody else's problems and become offended, and just I need to take to social media because my opinion is so important in today's environment, because I have social media and I have an audience, and this makes me typing into a computer or into a mobile phone instantly makes my opinion so much more important. No, it doesn't, Barbara. No one gives a fuck. Do you know what I realised recently? My wife was talking about, like, getting done up and stuff for a wedding, and we were like, oh, it's going to cost so much money to dress her, dress me, her to get her tan done, her nails done, her hair done, us to stay in the hotel, us to buy drinks, us to buy a present for the bride and groom, us to buy alcohol that we're going to bring with us and stash in the room and keep going up to our rooms with an empty drink and fill up all night because we're stokes and it's been born and bred into us. But see, at the end of the day, every single person at a wedding, right? Not one of them give a shit what you're wearing or how you look. Not one person. Not one person. That's why lads are just like, I'll just. What are you wearing, Cindy? Are you wearing a dress and getting your hair and your nails and your eyes and your makeup and your face and you shaving your moustache and you're fucking hiding your Adam's apple and you're doing your knees and you're getting your ankles done, you're getting liposuction, you're getting your lips blown up, and you're getting your fucking Yves Saint Laurent high heels on and your Gucci belt and your fucking. Who else is there? And your. I don't know many makes. And your Adidas handbag. I made that up. Adidas probably don't do handbags, but you're doing all this, and then Cindy's like, "Well, what are you, Jonathan?" She's from Cookstown. What are you doing for the wedding, Jonathan? And Jonathan's just like, "Fucking just wearing a suit. Probably brush my teeth or something. Probably brush my teeth. Or probably not even brush my teeth. Probably just drink a blue WKD so I don't fucking stink." And then what about aftershave? Fuck aftershave. Throw a bit of soap around myself. Be alright. Like, that's not on. I'm spending thousands here. You're wearing a suit you already have in your cupboard. Because no one gives a fuck, Cindy. No one gives a bollocks. No one gives a shit what you're wearing, how much you've spent on your stuff. Like, you look lovely. They only say it so you say it back to them. That's the only reason. Babe, you look gorgeous. You look sparkling like a queen. Like you've just walked straight from the movies. I've been dating for 7 months in the build up to this. What have you had, date? 3 crisps. Not even a bag. Not even a bag, just 3 crisps. I lick a crisp twice a day. Cheese and onion, as you can tell. I'm leaping. I'm sick. No one gives a shit what anyone wears to a wedding. No one gives a shit how anyone looks. So don't overthink it. Do you know why? Because you're up your own hole. Alright, love? That's what's wrong with you. You're up your own sphincter. Crawl back down from your own arsehole and accept that no one gives a bollocks apart from yourself, love. Alright, fair enough, you might want to look nice for your confidence and all, but no one gives 2 F's, love. Fucking wise up. Oh, it's mental. Going to a wedding next month cost me fucking $3,000. For what? What? I'd bring my caravan, park it out the front of the hotel. Fuck them, they'll not say nothing to me. I'll tell them where to go. I'll type my opinion all over social. Then we'll see. Run them into the ground, bastards. They'll close down within a week. Unbelievable. Don't even know what my point was, but yeah, I think my point something like just how no one's opinion really matters, but everyone thinks that it does. I used to live like being, I just have to do well on Twitter. That's my goal. Just do well on Twitter. And then I got to the point where you turn your phone off and you're just empty inside. And your kids are just like, is he my daddy? I don't know. I don't really see him that often. Just, he's on his phone all the time. There has to be a happy medium. There has to be a point when you just come off stuff and you're just like, this is irrelevant. I, up to a few weeks ago, used to drive myself mad. Every single week, I'd be putting Decky videos up, or Rodney videos, or whatever it may be, characters, and I'd be sitting there being like, oh, leave it half an hour. Don't check your phone for half an hour. And then it'll be decided by then if it's got enough likes or shares, or if you need to delete it because it's only got 5 or 6 or 2 comments and one of them's going, this is shite. But no one cares. No one cares. I like this. I feel this is my job. Technically, this posting content and stuff on social media is my job. I get paid for this. I'm open to sponsorship for my podcast. Get in touch. Doesn't matter if you shine shoes on the side of the road or if you are opening your own Tesla store in Dungannon. Doesn't matter. Get in contact. Get in contact if you want to sponsor future shows. Um, but I used to drive myself insane every single day going on social media and just getting on. Like, I really hope people are enjoying this. I really hope this is getting loads of likes. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It's just a wee Facebook page or a wee Instagram account or a wee Twitter handle, and nobody cares. Someone will go, like, and within 5 seconds they're on to the next comedian's joke or piece of content or cat falling out of a tree and a firefighter catching it. Look what I did today. I gave a homeless guy a makeover. Give him the makeover, but you don't need to film it. But it's inspo. It's inspiration for everyone. Please like my channel. Subscribe. Smash that subscribe button. Fucking smash your skull in with a fucking brick, you ball bag. But anyway, back to me talking about my table that I built. We, see, in the past week alone, we have had more car trouble than your wee fucking 4-foot fella from Top Gear. Andrew Hamill. Something, what's his name? Something, not the fellow with the big massive head that does Millionaire. What do you call him? Top Gear presenters. Richard Hammond. There you go. Nothing like Andrew Hamill, but there you go. Yeah. We have had worse car trouble than him in the past week. See, in the past week, right, we bought 2 cars. We had to buy, we bought 2 cars, David. Sit down. The young fella's making a bit of money. He's got 2 cars. One each, I suppose. Myself and my wife, we have a car each because we have like a family car and then one for work and stuff. Because I don't want to be driving a 7-seater to a gig when it looks like I have loads of children hiding in my car. When I don't, they're all at home in bed. But I am only joking, 'cause I hardly ever gig. 'Cause I fucking hate it. Why does he hate it? 'Cause he suffers from anxiety. La 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 la. Started taking tablets for my anxiety, which everybody in the world probably has by now because of the pandemic. And I got to the point where I just physically despised doing stand-up comedy or standing on stage or talking to anyone or breathing outside my house or going for a walk or all of the above and loads of other things. And geez, it gets to the point where it's crippling. You just, I don't know. Didn't mean to even talk about that. I hate people knowing shit like that about me, but at the same time, I also don't give a shit because it doesn't matter. Because nothing matters. It's really respectable that you like just talk about the IVF process and about your dick not working. I'm like, I don't care. That's why. Even like we were getting interviewed when all the IVF stuff were coming out, and it was all like, it's amazing how you can talk about your IVF process when it's such a taboo subject. And I'm like, cause I'm fucking dead inside. I've nothing to lose. What do I have to lose? Uh, I don't know. I don't know. We've had so much car trouble, right? We had two cars. One of them was a heap of shit. It was a tin of beans with four wheels attached to it, right? I need to stoke the fire here, or Man City the fire. What? What? Do you get a football joke like Stoke City, the shite football team in the championship or whatever they're playing now, League One? There's a like a fucking big acorny thing. Don't know, a pine cone, something, whatever it is. Not a lady. They take a light. We had them. We were like sort of doing our house and stuff, and taking loads of bits of shade out. You know, like after about 3 months, and you're sick of looking at stuff, and you're like, why do I have 20 pine cones in a jar on a coffee table? Because it's pointless. And then we were just about to bin them, and I thought, you know what, I'll bring them out to the cabin and just burn them. And that's what I've been doing. They burn like a son of a gun. So they take a light really well. Yeah, we had a car and 10 of beans on four wheels, and we got to the point where it was like, here, our warranty was up at the place we bought it, and we were like, wait, listen, can we bring this over and trade it in? Needs a wee bit of work, but it needed like a fuel injector. And the guy was like, yeah, no problem, man, just bring it over. We'll sort you out with a new car, man. We'll give you whatever we can give you, and if it's here, you can drive it home straight away, bro. So we brought the car over, but it needed a fuel injector. Cars come with apparently four fuel injectors, and one of them was bollocksed. So I had to drive it over, and it was coughing and spluttering, and the most I could do was 10 mile an hour with the double flashers on, and the owner driving behind me in the other car, and it was brutal. It was hell on earth. It was the worst, and finally got it over there after about half an hour. Right, it's about 600 yards from our house. Half an hour later, we got it over there. Um, got sorted with our car, drove our other car home. The next day, drove the 7-seater that we had that we kept. Drove the 7-seater down to the leisure centre near our house to go for a walk. Just pulling into the leisure centre, got a flat tire. And with it being a 7-seater, no spare wheel. Ended up phoning like a place where I usually get my tires for my car, and the guy was like, I'm here on my own, I can't leave this place, so you're on your own. Maybe try and get a lift down. And just then our neighbour, our knight in shining armour neighbour, Ryan, you call him, oh, he's the wee godsend. He literally pulled up as I was on the phone to the guy who was like, I can't leave here. And my neighbour, we were absolutely delighted, got the tire off, got the wheel off. He didn't get the tire off. He didn't have the stuff for that. Got the tire off. Drove me down to the place where I get my tires. The guy gave me a whole new tire. Brought it back, put it straight back on, and we were away. Unbelievable. And then we were at about 2 days ago. We were at our local shopping centre, and this was again in the 7-seater, and I went to drive forward, and as I went to drive forward, the car just wouldn't move, and it kept sort of as if the handbrake was on, but the handbrake wasn't on, and it wouldn't let me move forward. So I tried to reverse it back, and the exact same thing was happening, reversing the car as well. But I managed to get the car about 2 foot forward, so instead of me leaving it in the car park space, dickhead here drives it in between two spaces and then can't get it to move anymore. So I had to just write a note on the dashboard and just leave it going, I've broken down, I'll try and get this sorted as soon as possible. So the car's just lying in our fucking local shopping centre. So it's up to you. Do what you want, mate. God knows how long it's going to be there for. But car trouble coming out of our balls. About originally the white car that we had, right? It was like a Skoda Fabia or whatever it's called. And this was about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, when the fuel injector went. Diona was actually driving down to do a perforated Ulster, the BBC Radio Ulster sketch show with the Hole in the Wall gang, and she was driving down the motorway and the car spluttered and stuff and just stopped in the middle lane. So the car was going at like 60, 65 mile an hour, and only it was doing that, she managed to glide in front of a quiet motorway into the hard shoulder. And she got into the hard shoulder and she phoned me and she was like, what do I do? I'm going to be late for work. And that she had put our daughter to bed just before, and this was the first time she had ever left her on her own, or one of the first times. And she was like, what do we do? Like, her sleep was so important, and we had worked out this whole routine around our new daughter's sleep. By the way, she's doing fine. Thanks for asking. You haven't fucking asked in months how she's doing, but she's doing fine. And she's a wee dream. She's the most beautiful baby I've ever seen in my life. She is perfect in every shape or form, apart from her not sleeping like a wee dick. But Diona was like, what am I supposed to do here? I'm stranded at the side of the motorway here and the car's just broke down. I was like, right, I have the 7-seater. I'm going to have to go and wake our daughter, put her in the car, and drive down to you. We'll swap cars over, so I'll sit in the hard shoulder with our fucking 4-month-old daughter, 5-month-old daughter at the time. You take the 7-seater and drive on to work, and I'll just figure something out. And she was like, well, do you know what? I'll phone a breakdown service, and they'll hopefully come out and tow us somewhere. So I was like, right, okay, so do that. So I got down to the hard shoulder. This was way down Belfast, right? This was like 20, 25 miles from our house. And she was like, right, I really need to go to work. I'm going to be late. So give her a big smooch. She kissed our daughter, and off she went in the 7-seater. And then I was just sitting at the side of the hard shoulder, just me and my daughter, just in the car, just being like, all right, we have to wait about an hour here, hour and a half, on someone coming to tow us home. So we were sitting waiting, and I was going to, and I mean, my body had filled with piss, like one of those fake thermometer things that people colour in when they're raising money for charity and they're trying to hit the target. This was my target, and my whole body was coloured in with piss, and I was busting to go to the toilet. I ended up right. My wife had this little sort of dusty bin thing that people keep in their cars for like chewing gums and for, you know, bits of rubbish and wee crisp packets and things like that, from licking the fucking 3 crisps over 7 months in a build up to a wedding. Call back, and I was like, I have no choice here. Our daughter was just sitting staring at me, and I was like, please turn the other way, because I'm gonna have to piss into this bin on the hard shoulder. So I ended up pissing into the bin, filled it to the throat, right? Filled it to the throat. Obviously took the lid off, or you'd have pushed down and the wee flap would have went round and threw piss all over myself, right? So I got that done. Had to open the door and fucking up the hard shoulder, right? Then your guy shows up, walked right through my piss, right? I didn't let on. Then he sorted our car and stuff out. I brought my daughter in the car seat up to the tow truck, and he was like, "Jumpy in there, boy. I'll sort your car out and I'll be in there in a couple of minutes." So I get in, right? He has the music fucking blasting like Rain nightclub in the 90s. Fucking I mean blasting, right? My daughter was screaming. There was no knob to turn it off or to lower it, I was fucking pushing the fucking flashers. I was hitting the window wipers. I'm pretty sure I called his wife at one stage, hitting a fucking speed dial thing. I couldn't figure out how to do it, right? So my daughter was crying. Your fella was still putting he was still putting the car up on the tow truck. And I was like, why is she screaming? This is fucking driving me mad. I can't even think straight because the fucking disco's going on inside. So I lift my daughter out of her car seat, go to pat her on the back. She had shit the entire way up her back. I didn't have a change of clothes with me. I had one nappy and a couple of wipes. So I then had to get my daughter and fucking change her shitty arse. Then I had to take my hoodie off and wrap it round her and then put her back in her car seat that had shit on it, right? But I tried to clean it off as much as possible. But then the back was all wet. The music was going crazy. I wanted to fucking end my life there and then. It was brutal. Finally got my daughter sorted. He towed us home. My daughter cried half the way home. I tried to fucking play Coco Melon on my phone on Netflix and hold it up to her. Your fella came in. I'm here, I lower that a wee bit for you there. That's probably a wee bit too loud for the wee daughter there. Aye, you fucking think so? She needs a hearing aid now. Mad bastard. I'm playing Coco Melon, right? Coco Melon's up loud so that my daughter can hear it over this fella's music. And then he's like conversing backwards and forwards with me constantly. I mean, constantly. I'm like, I have a 6-month-old baby here that's crying on and off. I have fucking Coco Melon songs playing in my ear. You haven't turned your shit music off. And my car's broken down in the back and I have to fucking give you 120 quid. And if you're ever in a tow truck, they can only do like 40 or 50 mile an hour, I think, because whatever legalities. It was painful. And that's just 4 instances over the past maybe 2 months with car trouble. Me and Aaron McCann, a comedian from Oma, went to do a gig one time in Derry, got stuck on the Glenshane Pass. The car started to break down on the way up the Glenshane Pass. Thankfully, we just made it to the gig on time, did our gig. On the way back down the Glenshane Pass, the car broke down. We must have been stuck for 6 hours in that car. Painful, freezing cold. And him just pissing himself laughing at me arguing with the guys on the other end of the phone. Because what happened was I was in the AA or something and I phoned somebody and the guy was all, oh, we can only tow you like 20 mile. And I was like, oh, come on, my house is like 32 mile away. Please just tow me the rest of the way. He goes, I can't. I says, well, what can I do? My phone was about to die. Because I've been on the phone to them for about an hour. He goes, you can give me a postcode. I was like, I don't know any postcodes other than my house, but that's too far. And he goes, yeah, it's too far. Nothing I can do. You need to give me another postcode somewhere up to fucking 20 mile. So I was like, well, can you tow me to the service station that's on the main road down the motorway? And he goes, well, what's the postcode? I was like, you're on your computer typing in information and my fucking phone's on 9%. Can you Google it for me? I'm not allowed to do that. Just health and safety. Fucking health and safety, your bollocks. End up full scale row with them. I was like, do you know what? Fucking forget it. This, I ended up, right? It was whatever way, it was their policy or whatever. Then I got speaking to the fella, the tow truck fella, because he phoned me going, I'll be with you in an hour and a half or fucking 2 hours or something. And I was like, but I'm still trying to figure out where you can tow me to. Ended up having a full row with him. And then eventually phoned the company back. I was like, do you know what? Stick your policy up your hole. I'll go somewhere else. Phoned Admiral or fucking somewhere else. RSC. And they were all, yeah, we'll get somebody out there. I'll get the fellow the tow truck guy to give you a ring. Wasn't it the same fella that they use that I'd already had a row with? Who didn't know where he was going to tow me. Absolute nightmare. And then my wife woke her mate up because we had only one car at this stage. We were poor back then. And we only... This is like an entire podcast just on my car trouble. And shit I've built around the cabin. Around the man cave. Wow. And we only had one car at this stage, right? And we were broke down, me and Aaron McCann, up the Glenshane Pass. Then Fiona had to phone her friend, right? And fucking 10 missed calls, whatever, ended up waking in her mate. He was all, yeah, Joe, get a taxi around to my house and you can take my car up to pick Sean up and Aaron. And she was all, oh, amazing, that's great, thanks very much. Phoned a taxi, right? 45 minutes had passed, taxi didn't show up. Had to phone another taxi. Taxi came, brought her to her mate's house. Her mate had fallen asleep again. This was 5 or 6 in the morning and she could not get him awake. She was phoning and phoning. he lived at this big apartment block, so she didn't know what number to press because she didn't get the guy's number. She just got his address. He was all, I'll buzz you in, sure, and you can take my car. Nightmare. Nightmare. I have about 400 stories like this. Like, why I don't just fucking get the bus, I will never know. Unbelievable. I'll tell you this, right? This is the last bit of car trouble. I have loads of shit here that I was going to talk about, but um, I'll tell you this story, and then sure we'll wrap things up for episode 1 of the new season of the Comedy Cabin, right? So I used to live, myself and Diona, we used to live beside two guys who partied every single weekend, right? Every single weekend had a full scale party. It was as if Scooter moved into their house specifically on Friday nights from 9 o'clock until about 4 in the morning. And months had passed. Chavvy bastards, right? Scumbags. And I got to the point where I was infuriated, right? I was fucking driven to insanity with these two lads. And I was like, Billy Big Balls. One night I'd just had enough. Completely snapped. Music. The same song as the guy in the tow truck. That's the only bit of beatboxing I can do. And I'd had enough, and I was like, oh, screw these guys. I was like, I've my fuse has just been lit, and my head's about to explode. I'm gonna fully row with these two lads, right? I'm talking weekend after weekend after weekend after weekend of these lads partying and singing along to all the songs too, like two dickheads on the X Factor. So it got to the point where I'd had enough. I'd gone insane, right? And I was like, that's it. These lads are getting dealt with, right? I'm taking the law into my own hands here. I was livid. So I get out of bed. Diona was all here. Probably change your attitude before you go into them because there's going to end up a fight. I was like, fuck the two of them. I will batter them. This ends tonight. And I started getting dressed and stuff. Got my socks on. Flip-flops. I'm over 30 now. You can do both. Got dressed. Got my dressing gown on, right? I think I couldn't find mine, so I put Diona's on just to make me more scary. Looking to them when they answered the door. Had a towel. Just washed my hair that night in the bath, so I had the wee curly towel up to here. Lads, the music's a disgrace. Get it off now and get some sleep. Two dirty bastards. To you, throw it fucking a wet wipe round them pits, will you, dirty bastards? So I was livid, right? Fucking stormed down the stairs. I was like, will I bring a baseball bat? I was like, no, because it definitely things will kick off. I was like, just go in. I had to like sort of compose myself at my front door. I was like, just go in, knock the front door, and go, lads, I've had enough. Please turn your music off or I'm going to have to report you, right? That's what any normal person would do. So I'd calm myself down. I was like, right, be level-headed here. Go and set things straight and be done with it for once and for all. Went out my front door, right? Realised the car radio was on in my car. We had a problem with our car a few years ago, and the radio would just sporadically come on throughout the day, just full blast. And I went out and I was like, oh fuck, it's my own car. I'm talking 4 or 5 hours of just non-stop dance music from one of the local radio stations. I was livid, and I was like, I need to confront these lads. Two of them fucking probably tucked up in bed, watching The Notebook after a nice bath and a bath bomb. Unbelievable. Crazy. But call me Sean Car Trouble Hegarty because there's no end in sight. There really is no end in sight. I have to figure out tomorrow about trying to get my car from our local shopping centre, and fingers crossed it can be driven or traded traded in or something, because I'm this close to just getting a bus pass. This close. Thanks very much for watching the Comedy Cabin with me, Sean Hegarty. If you enjoyed this, you can donate to the podcast, which allows me to buy the likes of a tripod for my camera, because It's balanced on a thin log and then a candle and a little candle holder. And I'm recording this on my mobile phone as well, so all your donations will go towards upgrading a lot of my stuff. If you want to, if you want to donate to this podcast, it's very simple. Just go to www.ko-fi, which is meant to say coffee because you're buying somebody the equivalent of a coffee. You can pay anything from £3, a one-off payment. You can send a fiver, a tenner, 100 quid, £5 grand. It's up to you. Send what you want. ko-fi.com/hegpod, HEGPOD. If you'd like to sponsor an episode, sponsor a month's worth of episodes, if you want to sponsor for the entire year, I'm currently working with R King's Competitions, who are sponsoring my Decky the Gaffer videos. Shout out to those lads. Make sure you like their page and keep an eye out for their competitions as well. Some of them are unbelievable. Like, you can actually win a competition to manage Man United when Solskjaer gets sacked in a few weeks. So that's genuinely one of their competitions. So make sure you go on the Facebook page or King's Competitions or Instagram or Twitter, give them a follow and take part in some of their upcoming competitions. Thanks to those guys for sponsoring my Decky videos. You can sponsor any of my other comedy videos or anything that I do. I will literally sell my balls for money because I don't give a shit anymore. I have 10 embryos in a lab somewhere in the Czech Republic. So I'll give somebody a bollock if they want it. I don't care. I really don't care anymore. Fast forward 20 years, I'm going to be living in a forest with a beard longer than Rapunzel's hair. I really don't give a shit anymore. Yeah, live the dream. Keep taking your tablets, and fingers crossed we're all safely back here next Monday for another episode of the Comedy Cabin. Take our handy boys over and out. Keep her lit up a hoods. Fuck ye. See you later. Cheers for watching. Thanks. Ta-da, love.